So I don't often do this, but I'm actually going to do a video on somebody else's build, and haven't even talked to them about it. I probably will talk to them and let them know what I'm doing here. So there's a few bed support options for the under 5. There's a bunch out there, and all it's doing is it's just going to take this out of your bed right here. So there's just a slight flex here. So what we have is these bed brackets by, trying to pronounce this name here, Rowe, R-O-W-E-D-E-R. They're available at Thingiverse. I'll post a link. I like them. I like them a lot. I have them on the under 5. I've had them on there for a while. They're real simple to put on. So he has the metric equivalent. I think it was like M5s. But if you're in America, long M5s are expensive and hard to source, or can be. So these number 10 24s, these are 2.5. Looks like 2 1/4 would have been nice, but they didn't have those at Home Depot. And then we have nylon insert lock nuts, and that'll prevent any vibrations. So to put these on, so they just pop into place right here on your bed. And first thing to do is, let's see if we can get it lined up right here on the back. And I missed. Yeah, there. Put it on the back first like that, and then just squeeze the front on, and you'll see. Now, one thing that's going to happen here is that if you watch, if I slide this down, I can change the angle slightly. The way this sits, I don't know if you can see it, as I pull on this, it's changing the angle of this bed. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to get our square on here, and if you want to make it pretty, put your acorn nuts on the inside. Not acorn nuts, lock nuts. Acorn nuts have a top on them. So I believe I got this at Home Depot. So this is a square, and the great thing I love about this is, I can't get in the camera, but standard on one side, metric on the other. So that's nice. So here's what I'm thinking. So the way I figured to, took the bed nut off right here, and I can use this flat edge on this rail going across right here to get the level, the square right up against it. And we can pull it up on the bottom, and we shall see that it is good enough for government work, at least US government work. Alright, we'll flip it around to the other side. Alright, there you go. That's the brackets installed. You can see when I was talking about that extra 1/4 of an inch. Not that big of a deal. Okay, a little hard to see, but under here you will find a hole on the back of the bracket, and my medium-sized zip tie would not fit in the hole, so I'm using a small one. We have bed nuts. Now what these bed nuts do, these are an aggravation saver, big time. Once you do your auxiliary level on your bed, actually pretty much while you're doing your auxiliary leveling on your bed, what these are for is this knob is only kept from moving by being tight against here from the tension of the spring. So it's pretty much a little bit of thread friction and friction up against the bottom of this plate is supposed to keep this from moving, but it can move. So what we have is, once you get the setting you want, you just put our little screws on here and tighten down a little bit, and then that just makes those not want to move. Not much. So right here is about where it's starting to bind, and then I'm just moving. I don't know, that's like, it's like between an 1/8 and a 1/12 of a turn. The problem is if you turn more, you can actually flex this plate. Throws it off a tiny amount if you're looking at it with the scale. So this is a bed nut. It's off the gold printer, specifically designed for these brackets. They may work with other ones, but again, once you get your adjustment right, wherever you want it, simulated adjustment here, you can just put your bed nut on there, and that keeps the other back one from turning. And man, I mean, that makes this bed very strong. Those are very nice brackets. So this is my simple process on leveling a bed. First thing I do is I come up here and I squeeze the bed against the bracket to compress the spring, just with the force of my hand, and take all the play out of the screw. Don't just tighten your screw down, you could damage your spring. Do that all the way around on all four. Once I do that, I'm going to pull my bed screws out 1.5 times. Actually, I'm lying to you. Go a full 2 turns. Should give you enough. One thing that you need to watch that doesn't happen is that your screws aren't actually turning inside your bed. So they're not anchored. Alright, so there I have my Z-stepper energized, and my other steppers are not. So what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm going to set my scale on 0. It may not stay there. So I want to try to work off that one. I'm going to come all the way forward. Where did that go? Just make sure you go the right way around the scale. So you got to keep going around. Alright, there you go. From here, I'm just going to put my bed nuts on. I showed the bed nuts earlier in the video, a little out of order. So, and you can see when I wiggle it. Here's what's interesting. There's on 0. I'm going to hold the bed nut, but just tighten down on the other nut. And you can see, just tightening down on the secondary nut is enough to throw it a little tiny bit out of whack. So basically, once you put your 1/8 to 1/12 of a turn on, you can turn them together. All right, most people know how to level the bed. That's how I do it. Makes it very easy. Of course, it's kind of overkill with BL Touch. You just got to kind of be in the neighborhood, but I just do this because it's simple. All right, everybody, good luck.